Let's talk fall favorites. I have been feeling the need to get into this fall academic cozy vibe, and a lot of my favorites lean towards that sort of like energy, if you will. Very cozy, very gothic and romantic, and very studious, if you will. And I wanted to share some of the things that I've been loving these past couple of months leading into the fall season. So let's get into my fall favorites. Right, so the first thing is this journal. It is my Louise Carmen inspired journal. I bought it on Etsy actually, and I love her. I've been writing a lot in her, and I'll go through my journal ecosystem at another time, but this is the one that I travel with outside of the home, or I write my to-do list in. Not to-do lists that I need. So for example, my personal curriculum, my fall favorites for this video, my fall watch list, and then some other stuff. But I enjoy this because I typically do journal on a fairly frequent basis. So I wanted to get something that I could take with me that's not as big as my other journals, and I could travel with it. I can write it on my travels. I can just be more rooted in the moment everywhere I go. So that's why I bought this, and I have been loving it. I got it, I think, in August sometime, early August, and it's end of September now. So I have been using it for 2 months, which is nice. The next thing on my list are my brown tabis. I have a few tabis. It started out with black tabis before I went to Japan. I bought them, and I just really enjoyed them as walking around shoes, and then it became an obsession. But my most recent pair has been these gorgeous like brown color tabis, and I thoroughly enjoy them a lot. I wear them to work quite often. I haven't worn them out. They have rubber soles, and it's quite thick, unlike the actual Mason Margiela tabis, and there was a fraction of the price. I think these was only like $38–40 on Amazon. So yeah, and these are in a size, I think they said 36, so I think they're a 6. That brings me to personal curriculum, which has been such an exciting trend on social media, but I think it's an important trend because for those who do enjoy learning or always find joy in retaining new knowledge, it's one of those things that you can sort of embed in your life in a natural way. For instance, I am traveling back to Mexico next month, and I've been wanting to brush up on my Spanish, and so I decided that I was going to get a Spanish workbook, which reminds me, I have this one, and just take a little Spanish course, if you will, for myself. And so I just started to come up with this like weekly curriculum where I study Spanish twice a week, and I take notes. This is another one of my journals, and yeah, I take the notes in here, and it's been great. I honestly feel like I'm learning a lot. I mixed the workbook lessons in with Duolingo, so I've been feeling like I've been retaining more vocabulary as to just practicing on Duolingo, so that's been great. Another course in my personal curriculum has been social media or content related things. I've been wanting to put more effort into posting on TikTok and Instagram, so creating content is more of a strategic approach, if you will. It's like, yes, you should always find enjoyment to do content outside of a structure, but I find that if I have a structure, I'm more likely to complete it. So I came up with a curriculum for that, as well as a curriculum for eloquent speaking, if you will. I called it Project Grace back when I first started it, before I even thought about a personal curriculum. But I have been feeling the need to learn how to speak more eloquently, use larger and more sophisticated words than the ones that are currently in my vocabulary. So that is also one of the ones that I decided to do. I then from those concepts of the things that I wanted to do this fall, went to ChatGPT and asked them to create a course curriculum for each one of those. And then I put it in Canva to transform them into syllabus. It's kind of over the top, but I felt as though if I did it that way, I would commit to it as if it was a true class. And it has been great. I started it at the beginning or early September sometime, and it ends in November. So that is my fall curriculum, and that is a part of my favorites because I've been thoroughly enjoying myself, and it also gets me off of my phone. Aside from the social media aspect of the personal curriculum, it gets me off my phone and doing things, you know, that's a little more down to earth, if you will. My next favorite was the White Knight book. I don't have it on me. White Knights. It's by Fedor Dostoevsky, something like that. It's a short essay, as you can see. It's a very small book, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. I wanted to get into more classical literature or classical fiction, if you will, and this book came across on TikTok that everybody was reading. They have a different cover to Penguin publisher copy, but this one, I don't even know who the publisher is, but I thoroughly enjoyed this story. I did not know if I would because the language was a little dense and the writing style is quite old. It's a book necessarily about loneliness and longing. There was this guy who lives in St. Petersburg. He came across this woman who was in distress and basically met with her every single day to just get to know her, and he fell more and more in love with her, I think. And there was this longing there that was not reciprocated, so I think it's vulnerable in that sense. It was quite expressive, and it was just a great story. It was one of my only 5-star reads during the early, like late summer, early fall time, so I thoroughly enjoyed it and would recommend it. I will probably read it again at some point just because I found a little more of myself in that book, and there was some really great quotes. Next would be little trinket trays from Amazon. As you can see, they sit on my nightstand, and I recently did a TikTok about it. And I've been thoroughly enjoying having something to just like throw my necessities in. My little lip balm, which is important because it's about to get cold out, and I feel like my lips get so dry in the winter time / fall, and a lip gloss just doesn't do the trick. So I have this Nivea vanilla buttercream lip balm, which has been nice, and then this Aesop, I don't know, mandarin wren, rosemary leaf, and cedar atlantis. Maybe cedar atlantis is the name, who knows. Honestly, I don't know, but I love it. I haven't used a lot of it, but I have been using it since, honestly, I bought this in July, so I'm surprised it hasn't been in one of the favorites since then, but it's definitely a favorite now. And I use it every time before I go to sleep. And then my blue light glasses. I have always worn blue light glasses, or at least for the last 6 or so years of my life. I have worn them. They're a little dirty right now, cloudy, if you will. And I just think they're chic, but also because I work on my computer for my 9 to 5, and also I work on there for doing YouTube and social media, I just felt like I needed some chic glasses. And I love these. I want some like circular rim ones as well that are this kind of like silver frame or gold frame ones, because I feel like sometimes when they have a darker frame, it adds too much, whereas this is just like, okay, they're there but not too obtrusive. And next, which is more of a fall thing than any of these things, is my dark nails. I wanted to go all black, but my nail tech told me to wait until October for that, so I will be getting black nails very, very soon. I just love dark nails for fall. They look so good on, and I think I'm gonna go with tad bit shorter, but yeah, I really love Plum, which is this shade. It was a mixture of 2 shades, so I don't think there is a specific color that you can get to get these, but she mixed a plum color with a dark brown. So if you want a shade like this, that's what to ask for at the nail salon. Also, I've been curating a fall playlist on Apple Music. I will link it below if you want to listen to it, because I thoroughly enjoy music for the sense of it matches the mood that I'm in or creates the mood that I want to get in. And this playlist that I curated and still am curating leans into that spooky, gothic ambiance that fall can have when it's a little dreary outside. And a lot of the songs lean towards that, but it also leans towards the more emo teen Jasmine that once lived. And honestly, I've been feeling the need to revive her as the season approaches, because I feel like even though emo is seen as this sort of like dark personality type, I think it's just super badass, honestly. So I've been leaning into that more, and I want to share my playlist with you guys. If you love it, let me know. If you don't let me know because I'm still gonna love it regardless. And then yeah, I showed these in my other favorites, but I have, since the summertime or the springtime, been in such a nostalgic kick. So I've been wanting to continuously listen to my music and my playlists in these headphones. So they're in my favorites video again for that reason. That is all of my favorites. I will see you guys very, very soon.